Alright, I'm back with a new Destiny 2 video, and I wanted to revisit something I talked about closer to the beginning of this season about crafting and red frame drop rates and sources and things like that. And in one sense, I'm going to issue a retraction. However, ultimately, I still think that this season has dramatically increased pattern farming potential based on the number of sources you get. However, I will say that I no longer believe that they increased the rate. I have seen enough evidence, enough other people spamming umbrals to say that we are still in a situation where if you spam, 20 umbral engrams into here, you may only get, one or two red frames. If that, I think the drop rate is still between, I'm going to say like 10 and 15% on red frames. I think that's what it's always been. And even though I did get lucky spamming umbrals at the beginning, I do think it was just luck. That said, even if I do have some initial, luck here, I think as the season goes on, people are finding that they are getting patterns more quickly, generally speaking, than they have in the past, especially if you are kind of content going for all weapons rather than if you are just going for one specific gun over and over and over again. That is still going to be something of a pain for obvious reasons. But like the amount of sources for both Achilles weapons and Seraph weapons are adding up. So to recap here, I now have I have Seraph I'm a little behind on, but I have all four of the Achilles done. I have the hand cannon, I have Disparity done on Seraph. There's scouts, no. I have the Achilles SMG, which is the last one I just finished. I have one more to go on the glaive. I finished the Achilles shotgun, and I finished the Achilles sniper rifle. One more to go on the trace rifle. I'm feeling like I missed somewhere in here. Only one pattern on the linear fusion rifle so far. 3 patterns on the machine gun. There is no rocket launcher. There is no sword. The point being, I have all 4 done of the Achilles weapons and 1 done with 4 out of 5 done on a couple of the other Seraph weapons. That is pretty good for this being the beginning of the 3rd week in the season. And while I play this game a lot, I am not doing anything super crazy. And I think people need to understand the full range of sources that you have here. Okay, so first of all, week 1, you could get a guaranteed deep sight Seraph weapon from the chest each week. That is different than past seasons where either it didn't exist at all until it was patched in last season, or it would be way later in the season. Next week, you will be able to get both of these. You can get the first weapon you focus per week will have deep sight resonance, and then you can get locked chests will have an additional chance to drop a deep sight resonance pattern that you do not have the pattern for. So that these ones have knockout protection. Normal engrams do not have knockout protection. I have confirmed that. But otherwise, you also have these rank rewards. I have gotten 4 deep sight weapons just from these. Every reset you do here, and if you do one, it's pretty much like 4 battlegrounds, or 3 or 4 battlegrounds a rank, or it's 2 to 4, something like that. I have run maybe 6 battlegrounds a character every week just to get the drops from those, because you're getting an additional Seraph drop when you complete when you complete each of these. So that powerful gear has a chance to be a weapon, has a chance to be deep sight. So I've been going through those. It's 6 per character. Now we also have a pinnacle on Legend. I do not know anything about red frame drop rates on Legend. Some people are saying they're better, but I have not been able to confirm that yet. So doing that, I've had enough to rank up almost 2 times now, and each time there is a deep sight Achilles weapon engram and a deep sight Seraphic weapon engram. So that is 1 guaranteed red frame from each pool of weapons every time you go. And then, of course, the main thing I was doing was simply spamming every umbral engram I got into the Achilles pool here. I got the hand cannon and sniper rifle completed just from doing that. You'll notice that this only costs stems. Stems are everywhere. You get stems from every activity, and it does not cost Seraphic umbral energy, which It costs a lot of it. It costs 30 if you specifically target focus individual weapons here. And if you randomly spam this one, the Seraphic weapons, that still costs Seraphic Umbral Energy, though not stems. So I did that until I finished 2 of these, and then I targeted, I think I had 4 out of 5 on one, and I got that one. This week also opened up a brand new pathway to dramatically reduce the grind across the board for these. There are 4 of those little Rasputin nodes, the ones that you get by combining stems in your inventory using this thing. There are 4 of those there. Each of those is a deep sight weapon that is one of the 4 Aikilos, and it is all 4. So you will rotate getting through 1 red frame for each of these. They are not terribly hard to find. That mission is not terribly hard to solo. So it is essentially taking the grind down from 5 patterns to 4 patterns more or less automatically. So that is the way I got my final SMG pattern. And now I can move on to just spamming random umbrals here. We'll see if I get anything. There we go. video recording luck here. So is that I think that's my last pattern. Oh, and okay, so then I got a duplicate. I think this is the pattern one. Yeah, okay, so I didn't need that bonus one there. But, and then that's what I'm doing until, so now I have 2 of those completed. I will probably keep spamming this for cheaper because it's half the price of Seraphic Umbral Energy until I get 3 or 4 of these done, and then I will start target focusing the ones I'm missing. So between all the guaranteed sources, even if rates have not increased, keep in mind, like, past seasons, the past 2 seasons at least, had no more than 1 guaranteed drop per week, and it was usually like 1 from the chest or 1 from focusing. That is not the case now. There are 2 guaranteed sources a week with knockout protection, and there are guaranteed sources every reputation track here, which if you're doing any amount of grinding on the track, you could complete 1 track every week and a half, 2 weeks, I don't know, something like that. Those are guaranteed. Then you have the 4 guaranteed ones from the new exotic mission, and then you just have cheap free focusing until you get a lot. Again, if you are literally just spamming 1 weapon over and over again for 30 umbral energy per pop, like, that is expensive. That takes a long time to grind that energy, and those rates specifically are not better than they've been. So that is the thing that will take the longest if you are really, really just going only for 1 gun. But the way I have so many patterns is by going for all of them and all of these new sources of systems. So it's not a perfect system. Like, maybe 5 patterns is still too much, but like, this grind is going to be significantly less than at least the past 2 seasons. And I don't even have these final 2 upgrades done yet. I don't even have target focusing for Seraphic, so next week I'll need to get this one and this one so I can start target focusing specific Seraphic weapons. I will target focus to the ones I do not have 4 out of 5 on yet, because that will allow the random drops to potentially fill that 4 out of 5, and that will be a little more useful. I've not done anything with armor yet. I know you can get high set armor from this, but like, we have so many high set armor sources that I don't think that's very important or relevant. And then, of course, there is no crafting in the dungeon, so that is kind of not relevant at all this season, when Duality had its own problems with trying to get those frickin' 2 weapons with terrible drop rates. I have heard DSC, Deep Soul Crypt, is a nightmare to farm red frames in. I've heard people doing like 50 runs of Taniks and getting no red frames or 1 to 2 red frames. You can get guaranteed red frames, like, once from encounters doing that, but trying to just actively farm red frames there, I've heard, is a nightmare, and that has not gotten better. And I think you are solely relying on these 10 to 15% drop rates, which are, if you have no guaranteed sources or very minimal guaranteed sources, that is going to be a huge pain. So we know they are making further changes to crafting in the future. I still have very, very mixed feelings on crafting, as I always have, but this season has definitely made some very clear improvements, and it is not just pure luck that I have all these finished at this point. So make sure you're taking advantage of all sources. That includes things like ranking up here. That includes things like the powerful and pinnacle drops, and then, of course, getting stuff out of the chest at the end, period. Yeah, lots of sources, and then some of them guaranteed, some of them with knockout protection. it's better. So anyway, I just wanted to revisit that. So even if the rates are the same, we have so many sources now that it should not really be anywhere near the grind it was the past 2 seasons. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.